16 دسامبر 1977 ساتردی نایت فیور به سینماها وارد شد و به سرعت به پدیده‌ای فرهنگی بدل گشت. در سایه جاذبه جنسی جان تراولتا،
John's fans were shaking this trailer.
All of Brooklyn, it seemed, had come out to see him.
There was like 10,000 kids.
ریتم رقص فراگیر بی جیز،
When we first heard the music, we were just absolutely blown away.
One of the great albums of all time.
و داستان زندگی جوانی منزوی که همه جا با مخاطب ارتباط برقرار می‌کرد.
Cliché. You nowhere on your way to no place.
It's just one of those movies that people related to.
Saturday Night Fever در خلق ظاهر و نگرشی موثر بود که به تعریف دهه 70 بدل شد. ولی این نیروی کوبنده فرهنگ عامه در قالب قراردادی برای 3 فیلم یک بار مصرف آغاز شد.
That was the guaranteed hit.
با بازی یک هنرپیشه تلویزیونی که هیچ کس گمان نمی‌کرد به یک ستاره بدل شود.
Who's going to pay any attention to John Travolta?
و قدرت موسیقی که شکست خورده به شمار می‌رفت.
We were pretty much done for. We couldn't get arrested.
مشکلات تولید ماها گریبانگیر فیلم بود.
There was a revolving door of writers and we had no distributor.
برنامه طاقت فرسای فیلمبرداری خشم‌ها و هیجان‌ها را شعله‌ور می‌ساخت.
John turned around and said, "I'll be in my trailer."
I had a fit. I cried at the first showing.
و گاهی بازیگران و عوامل تولید تازه‌کار فیلم با هولناک‌ترین کابوس‌ها مواجه می‌شدند.
I saw the rough cut and freaked out.
We all said, well, you know, this sucks.
What have I gotten myself into?
اما همینطور که تب پیش رفت و جان گرفت، سازندگان متوجه شدند که چیزی ویژه را در دست دارند.
This is a winner. I mean, this is incredible.
بیش از 30 سال بعد، Saturday Night Fever هنوز مخاطبین را شیفته خود می‌سازد.
It's a movie that really speaks to people. It's a movie that has something to say.
Ain't nobody gonna give you a chance.
Nobody gives you nothing,
دیالوگ‌ها را می‌دانید.
He hits my hair.
I knew that you could.
موسیقیش را می‌شناسید. ولی چیزی که نمی‌دانید، داستان پشت پرده است.
The good news is you've been nominated for an Academy Award. The bad news is you're fired.
داستان Saturday Night Fever. Saturday Night Fever در سال 1977 در دنیا غوغایی به پا کرد.
It was making $1 million a day for months and months and months.
شاید هیچ یک از فیلم‌های دیگر دهه 70 سبک، نگرش و شخصیت‌های این دهه را به نمایش نمی‌گذارد.
It's a movie about a culture. You know, it's kind of a social phenomenon that was going on in Brooklyn in the 70s.
اگر ایفای نقشی نمادین و سکانس‌های رقص ستاره ساز برای تبدیل این فیلم به پدیده‌ای مخاطب پسند کافی نبود، ترک‌های صوتی پرفروشش قطعاً کافی بود.
That was how I knew something unusual was going on. There were that many hits in a row in a film.
صحنه‌های رقص پویای Saturday Night Fever توأم با موسیقی و توپ‌های درخشان دیسکو سالن‌های رقص را روشن کرده و رقص‌های خطی را طراحی کردند. مخاطب را مجذوب.
There isn't one moment where Travolta's dancing that I'm not totally smitten by the movie.
و صحنه دیسکو را جان می‌بخشیدند.
Disco peaked at one point, I guess around 1974, and then it kind of died. I remember reading the script and seeing that this was a disco movie and saying, aren't we over this? The thing about Saturday Night Fever, it really revitalized the whole disco era.
و مدهایش فرهنگی کامل را تجهیز کرد.
That was the perfect fashion movie. You think of Saturday Night Fever and you think of John doing that pose in his white suit. And it was a good look for a guy.
It's clothing that was worn by the kids Saturday night after Saturday night after Saturday night.
I actually remember having like crazy tall shoes. I love that whole ridiculous era with the bushy hair, you know, and the colorful shirts and the ties that were this wide. It was very cool.
And there in the middle of the shopping center, there was a 30-foot high blow-up of Mr. Travolta in the white suit, and there were racks and racks and racks of them. And the kids who were going to the prom were all buying them as fast as they could. And I stopped my truck and I thought, what have I done?
ولی این فیلم زیر پوسته پرزرق و برقش فیلمی بی‌پرده و چالش برانگیز بود که شامل هر چیزی بود به جز سرگرمی کم مایه.
On the surface, Saturday Night Fever is all about the fashions of the 70s and the disco, and there's a lot of stuff where the film isn't afraid to deal with some of the darker aspects of these guys in their lives. There's date rape. There's suicide. There's racism.
So fucking good. How could they be? They're spics.
There's homophobia. It is a film that is about real people and real social issues.
You're dealing with stereotypes. You're dealing with misogyny, the way that we treated girls in that film. You know, you're dealing with a lot of really heavy subjects.
Just give me a blowjob, right? Come on.
This movie today just would not happen. So many elements of how the story gets told would have been run through, the contemporary filter, and it would have been a much more vanilla kind of movie. And I think that's one of the reasons it still resonates, is that it's got, a real edge to it.
بیش از 30 سال بعد ترکیبات فیلم دستور ساختی را تشکیل می‌دهند که هنوز هم نتیجه می‌دهد.
I've worked on a lot of big film. And this film, by all counts, is not a big film, but it has a soul to it.
Films like these, even though sometimes it's on the most trivial and lighthearted level, reach people because they speak to something universal.
تونی مانرو 19 ساله در مرکز فیلم قرار دارد که روزها کارگر رنگ فروشی و شنبه شبها سلطان میدان رقص است.
Here's this coarse, hopeless young guy who has a series of epiphanies, who grows as a human being.
I almost saw him many times as a person submerged underwater, and every once in a while he'd see what it was all about.
I'm just not going back.
He has so much energy, he has so much life, he is just really raw and naked in Saturday Night Fever.
گروه تونی در فیلم فیسز شناخته شدند با حضور دبل جی با کله پرباد و انگشت غیرقابل کنترلش روی ماشه.
I was probably the lieutenant of the gang, so to speak, the enforcer, but my big flaw was the fact that I had a temper. That always created a problem when it came down to it.
جوی همان آسمان جل بزلگو.
My character was like keeping things going, doing a lot of speed, and humor, and what's happening next.
Hey, so show it's Barracuda.
گاس افتضاح آفرین خوشنیت.
I was so insecure about the role that I figured, okay, that's going to be the basis of Gus. The fact that he's so insecure, doesn't know what to do, doesn't know how to fit in.
Tony, I gotta marry her. Fuck it, she won't get to your boy.
و بابی سی آشفته قهرمان پرست.
Bobby C, there's a certain fragility right from the get-go. You realize this guy, it's not going to take much to push him over the edge.
و آنت عاشق نیازمند که سعی می‌کند عضو این گروه باشد.
I've been thinking, maybe I'll make it with you.
That's what you call thinking, huh? Jeez.
که هر کاری می‌کند تا محبت تونی را به دست آورد.
I thought, we all know this girl. Everyone went to school with this girl. That person that wants so desperately to fit in and be liked.
و استفانی مانگانو که به دنیای آسوده‌ای تونی گام می‌گذارد، دختری جوان از اهالی محل که ناامیدانه در آرزوی گریز به نویدهای پرزرق و برق منهتن است.
Aaron's so brilliant, man. He's the greatest actor in the whole world. He's the English actor, the one on television.
Oh, him. Oh, he's good.
Yeah.
She was fighting against trying to be cool and create an act where she was sophisticated and she could survive and rise in the world. So she was sort of a symbol of what was really going on with women in 1977.
Saturday Night Fever نه تنها بیم‌ها و امیدهای آن دوره را هدف قرار دارد، مانند هر فیلم خوب متناسب با دوران دیگری، بلکه از آن عناصر گام فراتر نهاد تا به چیزی جهانی‌تر تبدیل شود.
We weren't too far out of Vietnam. It was a very disaffected generation. Part of what the appeal of the movie is, in hindsight, is that it kind of capsulized that kind of disaffected youths.
They got it all locked up. Ain't nobody gonna give you a chance. Nobody gives you nothing, Joe.
پیدایش Saturday Night Fever در سال 1971 بود، زمانی که جان تراولتای 17 ساله برای فیلم Jesus Christ Superstar به کارگردانی رابرت استیگوود تست بازیگری داد. تد نیلی نقش را به دست آورد، ولی استیگوود شخصا یادداشتی درباره ترابلتا نوشت با این مضمون: این نوجوان روزی ستاره بزرگی می شود. 5 سال بعد استیگوود ترابلتا را دوباره دید، این بار در نقش وینی باربارینو در ولکام بک کاتر. و در 25 سپتامبر 1976 او کنفرانس مطبوعاتی در هتل بورلی هیلز برگزار کرد و اعلام کرد که سازمان رابرت استیگوود با این بازیگر 22 ساله سریال‌های کمدی قراردادی خیره کننده به امضا رسانده است.
I thought he'd make a good movie star. So I gave him $1 million for 3 films. After that, I was looking for a first film to launch him. And I happened to read Nick Kern's Tribal Rights of a Saturday Night. It was the perfect film.
مراسم قبیله‌ای شنبه شب جدید هستی تیره و غمبار نوجوانی از محله کارگری را به تصویر می‌کشد که یک شب در هفته با سفری به دیسکو روشن می‌شود. استیگوود حقوق اثر را ربود چون این اثر را وسیله مناسب پرتاب ستاره جدیدش به شمار می‌آورد.
We were really excited about the article, decided to buy it preemptively, gave it to John to read. John fell in love with it.
فیلمبرداری این فیلم طی ماه‌ها و پیش از فیلم دیگری انجام شد که استیگوود معتقد بود موفقیت اصلی با ترابلتا را در آن کسب خواهد کرد. گریس، Saturday Night Fever صرفاً فیلم آغازگر این قرارداد بود.
Grease had the big budget. That was the guaranteed hit. That was the built-in success.
Grease was the movie that had a pedigree. It had been running on Broadway for 10 years previous to that, and it was also a studio movie. And we were this weird little independent movie.
I thought it was a small art film. I thought that was just a stepping stone.
در نهایت همین پله شروع جان ترابلتا را به ستاره‌ای بدل کرد، ولی با فیلمنامه‌ای مملو از کلمات رکیک، تهدیدات اوباش
And they basically threatened to shut us down and they threw a firebomb at the nightclub.
و هیجان هیستریایی نسبت به جان ترابلتا.
These kids were out to get him.
Saturday Night Fever تقریباً هرگز موفق نشد به پرده نقره‌ای راه یابد.